Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 Welcome to another session, to the Katie Elite Mastermind session, discussing CD5 today.
I'm looking forward to this one.
So before we start CD5, just a quick recap of CD4. So the audio 4 introduced law of attraction, and that our brains are a receiver and transmitter of frequency, energy, and vibration. And we got to know a little bit more about Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie, and we covered a little bit of quantum physics as well. So CD5, we're going to go into secret societies a little bit more. Who is the elite and ruling class? We're going to delve a little bit deeper into quantum physics to help us understand more about the universe and the power that we have within us. So let's begin.
Yes, let's begin. So in CD5, he begins with defining the ruling class and the elite class. Now, there is a difference between the two, and most people think that it's the ruling class that are in control of the world, but actually it's the other way around. It's the elite class. So, so what is the ruling class? What does that consist of?
Who are they?
Who are they?
I'm already stuck. I thought it was the ruling class, the elite class. I thought they were the same thing.
Wow.
They're all
Right off, sure.
Yeah, no, they're almost the same thing, but there is one of them has more control over.
Parasitical.
Yeah,
Parasitical elite
class.
Yeah. So who are the ruling?
So the parasitical elite class is the ruling class.
So the ruling class of the.
Yeah, he does put ruling in that word. He says parasitical elite ruling class, but they're actually different to the group of just the ruling class, because they are other rulers that aren't parasitical, and they're not actually part of the narcissistic elite class, basically.
So the ruling class, what he says here is the royal families, the blue bloods, the rulers of the country, right? So that's the ruling class. So the rulers of the country.
Yeah.
However, the elite class,
are the ones that control the necessities, the monopolies, the major monopolies like transportation and food and
Oil.
human necessities of of what we
Used to be salt, now it's oil.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. So
the first question, starting with CD5, I think.
Yes, yeah, that's it. And so every century, some of these necessities were different. So back in the day, it was railroads. That was the necessity. So the elite class had control over the railroads during that time. So now it's food, transportation.
Obviously,
healthcare.
today it is oil.
Oil.
I remember seeing that.
So and in today's age, they use the media as a huge vehicle to actually control us. So the media has a lot of control over making people think a certain way,
influencing people's thoughts, choices, behaviors, decisions, instilling a lot of fear as well.
Yeah, but in your subconscious. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Also called the image makers.
The image makers.
Image makers.
Is that in a pocket full of money? Is it?
Is this a personal mastery course by Kevin Trudeau? Did he refer
Yes.
to the image?
Yes. There's a whole lesson about how images are created in our brain, our minds, and there's a specific group responsible for putting certain images into our minds. Yeah.
Cool.
So interesting. So they call the image. Did you say image makers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That makes perfect sense. That's cool.
First note.
Yes. So this is a question. These classes believed what about themselves? What did they believe about themselves?
They are
elite.
Their DNA is oh God, I don't know it. I know it, but I don't know it. The DNA, they believe they've got the DNA structure to rule over the vast amount of people.
Yeah.
Superior programming.
Genetics.
They think they've got this superior programming.
Genetics.
Thinking.
What was that, Jamie?
Genetics.
Oh yeah, genetics.
You're born with it.
Yeah,
they believed that they were vibrating at a higher frequency or a different level than the working class. So Katie gave an example of China and what the workers were made to take opium to
Yeah.
reduce their vibrational frequency.
The desires wouldn't spring up.
Yeah, and keep them
Yeah.
docile, exactly, and
Keep
keep
them
them
docile.
slaves, you know. And in this day and age, like just reflecting on what's going on, is fear. When people are in fear, it's very easy to control them.
Yeah.
So the media uses, you know, a way
They
of
use the media to control.
Yes.
keeping people in fear or lack or
Paralyzed in
scarcity,
fear.
so that people are much more easier to control. So
Fear also creates a weaker immune system. So if you notice that people are getting sick, not because of a so-called virus that's going around, it's actually
Fear
fear
itself can actually
itself
weaken
that
the
can
immune
weaken the
system.
immune system and create more, you know, diseases and illnesses in the body.
That's cool.
So do you think that the elite class want us to think for ourselves
No.
and consciously and fully
Transmit
via our brain, our own frequency, energy?
So what they're doing is then they're controlling the way people think. So then they beam out the wrong frequency and I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, they understand
And
the
when
human
you're-
mind better than anyone.
When you're in fear, you feel disempowered. You don't feel powerful enough to say, right, I can control my reality. I can create it, you know. So fear itself is quite, you know, paralyzing. And so the media has actually a huge influence over the entire world. And it plays a huge part in this day and age, because you don't just have television,
Tell
but
lies
you
to
also,
your vision.
you also have social media and, you know, all this different social media outlets. So we've got smartphones, so we're constantly being bombarded by information. So it's what you choose to look at is really, really
I cut off social media about 2 years ago, because I realized, and the same as everybody in the world, I think you start actually feeling worse after a certain amount of time. It's fine. It's like I think social media, I don't know if this is what's his name, something Zitek or Mark Zitek or something, and he explained that a little bit of gambling's okay, but not too much gambling's okay. A little bit of drinking's okay, not too much drinking's okay. He said it's like, but people are getting addicted and then they can't. I went to a wedding yesterday, and
dopamine and those things.
I went to a wedding yesterday, and everybody on their smartphone, pulling their smartphones in a wedding. You're with people on the table, and they were on Facebook. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. It was so sad. And everyone's seen it, and everyone's, you know, I'd done it when I was 18, 19, 20, but not knowing what was going on. So I say it's another form of brainwashing, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You end up having a relationship with your smartphone, relationship with the fake world. You know, it's crazy.
I feel sorry for the kids though, because they've been dealt a bad hand, haven't they? I think they don't know, do they? They don't know. We're lucky enough, us guys, to have maybe a DNA structure or a knowledge to know that, but kids are just, because it releases dopamine in the body, doesn't it? It's a drug.
It's a dopamine drug hit. Yeah,
it's an addiction.
There's a whole documentary on it.
Yeah. So the real secret is this. That's what Katie's saying, that, you know, the elite class don't want us to think for ourselves and emit our own frequency vibration. So he says that's the real secret, not the law of attraction, and that we can transmit and receive a vibration frequency energy through our brains. It is us, and nobody else can control us unless we allow them to. So we hold that power within us. We have the genie to make anything we want happen. And the controlling elite class don't want us to have this power. And like we were saying, the media has a huge part to play in this. And it is becoming more challenging because of smartphones and technology. But people are waking up. This is the thing.
They are starting to, yeah.
So they're starting to wake up. So
and it's like, have you seen Bug's Life? Have you ever seen that film?
Yeah.
Where they don't want people to. They said, have a think. They said the 5 rulers. I haven't watched the film since I was a kid, but I saw a clip of it, and I get it now again, shivers, saying, imagine all of them understood how much power they had. When nothing.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Google it on.
Because remember there was that one bug that was different.
It's a kids' film, isn't it? I saw this now, and I was thinking, oh my god, that's actually what's going on.
It's actually what's going on.
That's actually what's going on.
Exactly.
Amazing.
There's also Bee Movie, the movie about the bee.
Yes.
You can see that there's this bee, and they all do the same routine. They go to school, and then they do this, and he's like thinking, oh, this is weird, I don't want to do this. And so one bee starting to think differently, you know, and it's normal to go to work and everybody does it. So
yes. Isn't it
Sorry.
amazing how these movies can
Movies
actually
point to things, yeah.
Yeah.
Golden nuggets of wisdom in these.
Why are they doing that? How's that being allowed to come out? Does anybody know why they're allowing that to come out? Because that's only going to help people, or is it maybe somebody just throwing it in for 10 seconds?
I don't know. That's a good question, Jamie. I always wonder about that. Why the secret
these
is
hints?
in movies.
And in The Sorcerer's Apprentice, apparently, Kevin Trudeau was saying that they went through the entire formula of manifesting right there in the car. There's like a scene where the wizard goes through the guy with the apprentice is going through the entire technique right there in the car. But
what is it? What's the name? What's the name of it?
Apprentice.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah, Katie gave an example about this in the audios. I don't remember which one.
Sorcerer's
Yeah, he did.
Apprentice.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Yeah.
It's a very good movie. I don't know if you watch it, like the Seabiscuit, like Kevin recommends it. Seabiscuit about a horse
Maguire?
racing, in order to explain how the law of attraction works. Seabiscuit, and another one.
Yeah. Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit, yeah.
Okay. Oh, we'll check that out.
There's another one I don't remember. I will write it by review.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Even Turbo was a good film as well.
Seabiscuit.
Another one.
Yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, as you say, I think that like they don't want you to know your own power, because if you do know it, that's what he says, isn't it? If you do know it, then you realize how much power you have. And they want to keep you powerless.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
Scary, man, isn't it? It's
scary.
weird, really weird. Like
It is.
sometimes I sit back, I thought that can't be real. And you look round and everyone's going to work at 7 o'clock, coming home at 5 o'clock, going to bed, and they're all in, and they go to school and they get brainwashed into school, brainwashed into work, brainwashed into this education for a million years, which is fine if you enjoy it, but that's what they want. I could never understand that with school. I hated school, and I thought, why would I want to get up at a time I don't want to get up, go somewhere I don't want to go, do something I don't want to do, come home and wear something I don't want to wear, come home and do work I don't want to do, go to bed at a time I don't want to go to bed. I was thinking, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I know. We're conditioned to do certain things.
Unless you start questioning it
Yes.
and realizing that this is insanity.
People go, you conspiracy theorist, you.
Yeah, conspiracy theorist.
Oh my gosh.
Go on, track
So
three.
in track 3, he says, what happens when you say, I get it? He goes into teachability index.
Got it.
What does it mean?
I got it.
When you say,
get
I
it.
don't
got
got
it.
it.
You stop being teachable. It goes down to 0.
Yes.
Don't
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
I love it when he says that.
Yeah. So it's okay to say I get it, but I know there's so much more I need to learn.
Yeah, or I'm
But
grasping it.
I'm grasping it, I'm getting there. But
Teach me
if you
more.
just say I get it and full stop, that's it. You just
Teachability
stop.
index
Just want to learn a little bit more.
Yeah. Because there's so much layers to this stuff, it's only when you actually experience, and we know these things intellectually, like quantum physics. Everything in the universe is energy vibrating at a different frequency. We're all made up of subatomic particles. Okay, time is an illusion. Life is an illusion. Matrix is an illusion. What happens when you feel it, man? When you actually experience it? Oh my God, we're connected.
Yeah.
Man. Oh my God, I can manifest anything. Oh my God, I'm an unlimited being. My soul is I'm liberation. I'm free. But when you
So true.
actually experience it, trust me, it's on another whole new level. So when you say, I got it, you really didn't get it. A lot of people don't. There are a lot of gym members out there.
It's true though. It's true though. We all know the stuff. You can know the stuff till the cows come home, can't you? But until you actually, the best way to learn it is by actually doing it.
Doing it, and
It's like driving a car. You can teach somebody how to drive a car, and you've got to go in and make mistakes, and then you're not going to get it perfect first time. You'll get some winners, then you get some losers, and you realise where your belief level is. That's what happened with me. It was like until you actually apply it, you realise then.
You realise,
And the thing is, your mind grows as well. Every day, your mind actually grows. Like, so when he says read the same book over and over again because you're a different person in a unit of time, that's what he's reflecting with, because you get more cognitions as
you're
well.
building neural pathways,
and that is
so
you now
you're
experiencing
changing.
the material. You start to experience and feel the material. That's when you get that whole chemical rush. Like, I know Jamie, you felt that. I know Mario, you felt that. Arman, you must have felt that. Oscar, you must have felt that. I definitely felt that. Meenal's felt that. You get goosebumps, man. Some biological reaction, some chemical rush has gone through because you've actually got the cognition. You felt it, you've internalized it. It's touched your heart and soul, guys. That's when you get to the depthness, the depth. I know Mario gets this.
That's enough vodka for you, Cash. No, it's really true, really empowering, that is.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. It's so true, because we all know the stuff, and we are still learning it, and always will. But
Yeah.
As long as you know that.
when you actually apply it, that's when you realize.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And with the training balance scale, one of the key points is that society actually
Conditions and programs you to think about the techniques, the skills, the hows, the
This is how
strategies,
people fail.
the methods.
Yeah.
Keeps
So
people in
then it
failure.
makes us think we're never capable of achieving something because we
Right.
don't have these techniques.
Keeps
and
it a level.
skills. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so globally, we're in that state of never achieving or never quite getting there because everyone's just focused on the how and the techniques and skills, and we forget about the mind and how powerful our brains
Because it
are.
actually goes through physical facts, doesn't it?
Mm,
But it goes to the quantum world, and then that comes out into the physical world.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
That's the
Wow,
key thing.
Jamie,
That's a good one,
you've
Jamie.
been reading a happy pocket full of money, haven't you? The quantum field, the quantum realm.
and he's going through it. The quantum saying, yeah, but when your attitude's right, the facts won't count. Blah 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 blah. And then he says, when you realise, and then your thoughts are actually going through all physical matter and actually creating things and bringing it towards you.
Yes.
When your attitude's right, the facts don't count, because your attitude is, I say, thinner than physical reality. So it's actually going through everything
Yeah.
and coming towards you. And then he goes, the training balance getting all on the thoughts, and I think, it's like, oh, and like, oh my god, it is. And
It
and
really
you
is,
build,
yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
So cool, isn't it?
That's
See
so
it every day.
cool.
See it every day.
Oh,
I say to people that want to build a business, or I say, well, try it then. Yeah, but how? I'm like, oh yeah, how? I got no chance.
you
The
just
how.
stop there.
Stop
Well,
there.
it's fine.
We're focusing on the wrong side of the training balance.
Yeah, where do you begin?
Amazing.
So just a recap of two really powerful concepts. So the first one is that your brain is a transmitter and receiver of frequency, energy, and vibration. It's similar to radio waves, but it's more powerful. So similar concept to radio waves, but it's more powerful.
It's got a unique characteristic, and it's smaller, I think, is it? Smaller than yeah.
That's right.
Particles.
Yeah.
At higher frequency.
And it travels instantaneously.
Yeah, travels instantaneously.
All over the globe.
All over the globe. Yes.
Yeah.
And the to Timbuktu.
And the other powerful concept is, well, it's a question to you guys, is what is the earth and everything in the universe made of, including ourselves?
Energy vibrating at different frequencies.
That's it. Perfect.
Star.
So, we are, and it's not woo-woo, all this stuff. If you say this to anyone and they say, oh, you've lost your mind, actually you haven't, because it is quantum physics.
Yeah.
It actually is proven now. We've got the technology to show that everything is just energy vibrating at different frequencies. However, I think Katie said somewhere about you cannot still explain or understand how a radio wave or frequency works, because it permeates all of space. So
amazing, isn't it?
Right, yeah, it's amazing.
And we can't see it with our five senses, so we just don't believe it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And people just go, well, I can't see it. Like our scientists just couldn't see the energy, and they couldn't see electrons and protons, and they said the atom's the smallest particle in the universe, and it's not even a particle.
Exactly.
But that's all they could see. That's all the facts they could see.
Exactly. So I just want to do a little dialogue with Kashmeer, right? This is from another book, but we just want to kind of illustrate about
the fact that
everything is really just energy,
space
right?
And energy, yeah.
So
amazing.
So Kashmeer,
you will love this one. You ready for it?
This is from another book, or what you're gonna talk about?
Yeah, this is from
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
He's just illustrating that everything is energy, right? So it's a nice little dialogue. So Kashmeer, go on.
Yeah. So where does the intelligence that keeps our heart beating fast come from?
Well, that part is our autonomic nervous system.
Where is the new nervous system located?
It's in the part of the brain called the limbic system.
So are there specific tissues within the brain that are responsible for keeping the heart beating?
Yes.
And what are those tissues made of?
Those tissues are made of cells.
And what are cells made of?
Molecules.
And what are molecules made of?
Atoms.
And what are atoms made of?
Subatomic particles, like electrons.
And what are subatomic particles made of?
Energy. Wait a minute, Meenal. Are you saying we are therefore energy? We're made up of the same stuff as the entire universe? And that is, drum roll, please. Nothing. That's what a quantum atom looks like. A blank page. It's nothing.
Wow.
So, so vibration exists, but you cannot see it with your physical eyes, just like radio waves.
Yeah. Oh, so if the entire universe, including us, is made of energy, frequency, and vibration, then why do we see different shapes and forms and solid objects? That's a question for the
Yeah,
group.
why are we seeing a table here?
Yeah, why do we see a table, a
solid
chair?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, so the question is, if the entire universe, including us, is made up of energy, frequency, and vibration, then why do we see like different shapes and forms in the form of solid objects?
Why do we see solid objects if everything's just energy vibrating?
Give it a go, Mario.
The combination of the frequency on the frequencies are all different, and therefore there's different combinations of what exactly. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah, you're on the right
Vibrations,
track,
no?
Mario.
Yeah,
It's about, you know, the fact that the atoms are exactly the same, but it's the combination.
and the combination of the atoms. Yeah,
Yeah, combination.
They've done an experiment in Trudeau said with the North and the South Pole, and they're different, but they correct me if I'm wrong here, but because the frequency and the electrons and of the vibration was different, there was no difference in the atomic structure, but there was a difference in the vibration, which was the opposite.
That's, yes,
Yeah.
that's it. So it's all to do with the vibration, the frequency, and the different combinations of the frequencies.
Like bees in a hive. As they say in Think and Grow Rich, and it says, what's the line? Napoleon Hill says, you will realize, oh, when he comes to he comes to bed, is it the Edison comes to his bedside in Think and Grow Rich and says, you will soon realize that everything on planet Earth is just swarms of different energy comes together like a bees in a hive, and they form different things, and that's where everything is. They mention it briefly in that line.
Oh, I see.
And I had shivers reading it. I can't remember the exact quote, but everything's just formed differently. That's why everything looks different and is different.
Ah,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Thomas Edison touched
Armand,
in that way.
Dime.
ya ha habido respuesta, ¿no?
Sí, sí, sí.
¿Puedes traducirle que solo podemos ver en el franjo de banda ancha que nosotros vibramos?
There's a couple of words I don't know if I can translate, but Oscar is saying that we can only see the one. It's very tough. Franja, it's like the white vibrational.
We see the end part of the vibration.
Yeah.
Por eso, si vibramos más alto, pues, veremos las cosas que vibran más alto.
If we vibrate better and higher, we can see things which are vibrating higher and better.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
The extrasensory.
That's a really
perceptions
good
run
point,
deep,
Oscar. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah.
you're right.
Mini punto para Oscar.
Yeah.
Carry on,
Yeah.
Kashmeer.
So, what is this? Track 5. Okay, track 5 and 6. A little recap of the way in which we transmit a frequency is: we can, number 1, we can transmit softly with little power, or number 2, we can blast it with huge amounts of power and intensity. So our frequency is higher than other frequencies of mobile, satellites, radio waves, etc., and does not travel in a straight line like radio waves do, but it's instantaneous. You know, it goes all over the globe, and it maintains its power whether you're 1 foot away from the, from your,
Or in Australia.
thousands miles away from it. But radio waves, the further it travels, it loses its power and intensity. So the question is, can you remember what Thomas Edison said about your brain?
Oh, was that a question? I was just doing what you were saying. say that again. I was actually listening to what you were saying.
Okay, yeah. So
What did Thomas Edison say?
So we're just talking about the the frequencies between our brain frequencies and the difference between radio frequencies. And then but do you remember what Thomas Edison said about the nature of our brain frequencies, what it does?
Kick myself and tell me.
You will know, you know this. I know you do.
No, I don't know the answer to that particular question. So
it's a transmitter and receiver of frequency, vibration, and energy. So your brain transmits, but also receives energy, and therefore, yeah, that's one of the things that the elite class do not want us to know, that we have such power that we can, that we have the ability to do that.
Not the law of attraction.
Not your brain. Exactly, not the law of attraction.
But your brain.
No.
Not the law of attraction.
And then there was a second part to that. He also said, that it affects physical matter and it's picked up by our brains.
Yeah.
So I was like a really
and that's why he says, sorry to interrupt you. That's what he says then, when you transmit a frequency and it goes through everything and permeates everything and picks up by the brains, people, situations, circumstances come to you. That's the law of attraction, because he goes deeper and deeper then, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah. And then that part about how it affects physical matter, how your brainwave frequency affects physical matter. Can you remember which movie demonstrates this?
Yeah.
What the bleep do we know?
Yeah. What the bleep do we know? So if you look at,
I find it a tough film to watch, that one. I watched it 3 or 4 times. It's difficult, but I get it more and more. I watch it.
Yeah, it's also very long
very hour and 40, isn't it?
It is.
It's like a documentary movie, flash movie, isn't it? Yeah.
So the example is the water, that water experiment. And when you look at the water, if you emit a frequency of gratitude to the water still looks the same, right? Nothing. It looks like nothing has changed. But if you
taste the same,
it may even taste the same. Like you can't tell anything. Like nothing has changed.
Physical difference.
Yeah, no physical difference. But if you look under a microscope, you'll be able to see that the water crystals have changed. The shape,
different color.
They're more you could say coherent. They've got more symmetry and more of a divine structure rather than haphazard and like all over the place. So it just makes you think that just because we can't see it with our naked eye, and remember our 5 senses are very limited, doesn't mean that thing hasn't been affected in some way or another.
That's where everyone goes wrong in it, because we all think, everyone thinks, they're like scientists, we're all arrogant. We're not, but because we can't see it, and that's the end of it.
We can't see it, So I remember we listened to this guru called Sadhguru, and he's got lots of videos. He's got loads of people following him around the world, including some celebrities as well. And he was always saying that when you have a glass of water, before you drink it, give thanks to it, send it gratitude and love, and give it maybe like a minute or so before you actually drink the water. And he says, watch the change. Now you think, well, what's the point of doing this? It's like the water's water, but actually this experiment in what the bleep do we know actually does show it, proves it, that it does work.
So it will taste better, sort of thing.
It will taste better and be sweeter. It will be better for your body as well, because you're taking in something that's got more, the crystals are more better formed. It will be better for your health as well. And that's the same with food. If you think about people that say grace before their meal, and they thank the meal in front of
that's the Chinese whispered into culture, then that's what that is.
Yeah, that's it. So why would they do that? Because actually there's a meaning behind it. So with anything that you eat, anything that's going inside of your body is actually doing that. And it sounds like crazy or ridiculous, but actually there's now science that shows that it does work. I
don't know if you've seen the video of Trudeau when he talks about his friend, his favorite meal was whatever it was, and his mother made him a meal, and his nan made him the same meal.
Yes, I was thinking about
Jamie.
And he said this, and I was listening. How teachable you. That's nonsense. I watched it again. I thought, right, how teachable. And I've watched it. For some reason, he said to Kevin, when my nan makes it, it tastes better. And he goes, yeah, because it is. My nan used to make me a Sunday dinner, like chicken, whatever, and it was better than my mother's. My mother was a better cook and a better. She was doing the same thing, but it was just different. It just tastes different.
Yeah, the energy is different.
Because the energy is different. So even if you're using the exact same technique and ingredient and recipe to produce that dish, somehow it tastes different. And how do you explain that, right? And I think we've all experienced it.
Like Meenal loves my food so much because it's got my angelic, beautiful, amazing goddess-like vibration in it. Whereas when somebody else makes it, like when I make it, or she makes it.
Did you say that about making a cup of tea as well?
Question here. For example, Gordon Ramsay, when he's cooking, he's using the recipe unconsciously.
Yes.
What do you mean? Like,
what do you mean?
You mean
like
the
recipe, the formula? I mean, like he's defining the recipe. He's a burning desire. He has a belief. Like, is he putting the energy into his food?
He's putting the energy into it.
He's putting the energy into
the difference we're saying is that some person can make the meal or somebody else can make the meal. It's like making a cup of tea in it. A cup of tea should be the same. But when I go to my dad's really positive and happy. Mum suffers with depression, and whatever she does or makes or whatever, it just doesn't taste the same. It just doesn't taste. Honestly, it doesn't taste the same.
Interesting, yeah.
So I tell everybody now, you make the best cup of tea, so they make me a cup of tea. It's amazing, that, isn't it? You think that is really nonsense, but it's
really.
Is this so they say when you say this is made with love? Is this
when they say
made it with love? Oh, so this must be delicious.
Yeah. That was Oscar was saying that in the chat in space.
Guys.
Cook with love.
In the morning, I have a ritual, water and lemon.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And thank you.
Oh,
thank you for the sun, for the water. Imagine breathe the water.
Yes.
And según tomo my bringing all my here. O sea,
happy.
Yeah, well, he's taking it rewires like all his brain.
Según me lo tomo, todo mi cuerpo brilla.
Very good ritual.
Okay, well, he's taking it, all his body shining.
Oh gosh, that is
cool,
so
right?
lovely. Gosh,
Todas las mañanas.
Every morning.
Every morning. That is amazing, Oscar. Honestly,
you're already applying the positive.
Yeah, and that really inspires me because I want to do it more consistently. Like sometimes I will do it, and sometimes most of the time I forget.
I'm the same. I'm the same. Yeah, I'm the same.
You know, but that's such a wonderful thing to do, and it's like a morning ritual when you put the lemon in your water and then you do that. Ritual, you know, I think that's amazing.
Is totally recommended.
Oh yeah.
And then you get more things to make you feel gratitude.
I'm going to incorporate this in our morning ritual because we already do.
So then you get more things in your life that make you feel grateful.
Qué bueno.
Excellent.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that, Oscar.
Yeah,
that's lovely.
Oh,
you're welcome.
Good boy, Oscar.
Hey, your English, Oscar, is getting better, eh?
Yeah.
It's good.
A little bit, but
Yeah.
It's good. So carry on, law of attraction.
So ask about the question. Well, actually, the question is, what could you do every time? Yeah, you drink some water. So yeah, incorporate that gratitude in the water. So track 7 and 8, he talks about law of attraction. So obviously, it's the most senior, most powerful law of the physical universe, and law of lift is more senior to the law of gravity. And law of attraction, says like attracts like. So does anyone want to explain how homeopathic remedies work?
Do you remember that bit when Katie explains about homeopathic remedies?
What you do is, go on, who's going to say it?
Right. It was invented by Samuel Hahnemann, and the theory is that that the same frequency put together, they neutralize each other. So if you have like a disease, something like poison ivy, I think is the example.
Yes.
So if you put in poison ivy, the frequency into water, and then you Help me out here.
So basically, if you had a,
You
if
infuse
would
the frequency into the water, and then you
would drain the poison
the
ivy,
thing.
and you would take the frequency of the poison ivy. So you would dilute it,
Take
wouldn't you?
it,
So you'd have
dilute it. Yeah, dilute
yeah,
it.
you take a
and
little drop.
The more you do it, after a while
higher
there's
the frequency
only
gets.
water, but nothing.
Frequency.
You can see it, but the frequency is much higher the more you dilute it. So
Yeah.
And they give it to they give scientists 5 different homeopathic remedies, and they said it's all the same.
Yeah.
Is that right? And then they actually test the frequency, because they take 1 drop and put it into a 5-litre jug of water. They take another drop and put it into another 5-litre jug of water, and by the 2nd or 3rd jug, he said, it's just water in the jug. But the more you do it, the higher the frequency gets, which means then, the higher the frequency gets, so it's more powerful. I think that's what he says.
Yes.
Yeah, the more it's diluted, the higher the frequency of the tincture. And then also he says like cures like, but you had to find poison ivy.
A like frequency, just like law of attraction, like attracts like. So the like frequency attracts
the like vibration.
Cures it. That was Hahnemann's theory. So do you know, with he says the biggest users are the royal families and the elite that use homeopathic remedies. So what would that then, in real life, what would that then happen from a disease, or from, because you look at all the royal family, or look at all the families around the world, they look to be in perfect health. They never go young, unless you're Princess Diana in that situation, but they're all in perfect health, aren't they? So is that what he's referring to?
Yeah, I would have thought. I mean,
that's
what I suspected when I was listening to that part. I thought immediately, our English, royal family came to mind, and I thought, oh yeah, you hardly hear of the Queen being admitted into hospital, right?
Ever.
Hear about Prince Charles.
But they are always healthy because most of it because of the homeopathic remedies.
Just a part of it, I think, isn't it? Just a part. That's it's one of the. I'm guessing one of the biggest. One of the factors that keeps them healthy that we don't know.
Yes.
I think they'll eat from the ground. They'll eat properly. They'll they won't have any steroids pumped into animals and all that stuff.
Yeah, they'll have all the pure stuff, all the natural stuff. Yeah,
sources to all the good stuff.
Interesting.
Only the best from the best.
Yes. Yeah.
They got the DNA structure.
Yes.
Genetics.
So in track 8, he says, every single thing is a vibration, and everything vibrating pulls itself a similar vibration, just going off on what we talked about with the like cures like stuff with the homeopathy. And the great thing is that we can choose whatever frequency that we want to transmit, so that we can attract whatever we want. So what are the 2 caveats of this transmission? Caveats, I don't know how to pronounce that word.
There are 2 caveats here.
Yeah. There's 2 of them. So would anyone like to share what they are?
One is that your brain. Is that what he says? No?
It's something to do with intensity and power.
And duration.
Intensity and duration.
Intensity and duration.
So if you want something, you've got to put out exactly what you want with a specific belief level, knowing when you believe it, and up the intensity and up the duration for long enough so that it has time to attract, and it's 68 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
For it to come back. And longer is better, he says.
Yes.
I don't know the 2. Is it duration and intensity?
Yeah. Number 2 was how often you're transmitting the frequency.
And he says almost constantly.
Potencia and time, ¿no?
Sí, duration y potencia.
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 This is where you
Spanish potencia.
Yeah, potencia is potencia is like intensity.
Intensity.
This is where he really starts to say about the secret now, doesn't he? He really says like what you've got to do now to employ it.
And these 2 things will determine the speed of which the experience thing that you're asking for comes into existence. So this is your command. It's the increased intensity and the duration. but this is just me asking a question. So this is just from our experience.
Yeah.
What we found was that we weren't actually following this exactly, but what we did was we had an intensity of frequency transmission that we were both doing for something. It was the first class ticket in the, so we attracted a first class ticket. And what we did was we had this incredibly intense, exciting conversation about,
I done this.
hey, we're going to get a first class, we've got a first class ticket. There's been a computer
But
glitch.
wait. You got like a first class ticket, like you were transmitting, like both of you, for a flight.
Yeah.
No, both of us.
Both
at
of
the same
us.
time.
Did you believe it? Did you believe it?
So so we were
because
having
we were
fun.
feeling good because
So-
we were having fun. We didn't have any resistance. We didn't have any resistance to the outcome, any expectation even of the outcome. We were just playing with it.
So
you know,
like
so-
in the future,
What you were transmitting was specifically like the tickets, or
Yeah.
just an emotion? Okay.
it was specifically a
about the
ticket.
actually, yeah.
Good
So it's
point,
about
Lavanya.
the ticket, but what was very interesting was I actually did when we were doing this playful imagination
Playful
thing,
imagination,
I actually did explain to Kashmeer how it's going to happen.
which is really
Right,
crazy.
which is
But
crazy but we were doing it for fun, right? There was no
Yeah.
resistance. There wasn't like, oh, what if we don't get
That'll
the
have to be a belief level though as well. That'll have to be a
Yeah.
belief level.
There was no attachment to the ticket.
There's
That's
no
right, there's no
attachment,
attachment
key
to
thing.
it,
Yeah,
key,
Mario,
yeah.
that's it. There was no attachment to the ticket. So I said to Kashmeer,
Wouldn't
guess
it
what's
be
going to
fun
happen?
if-
We're going to get first class ticket and there's going to be a computer glitch.
Yeah.
And these two women are going to say, you two come over
here.
here. They're going to get our ticket and with a red pen, they're going to cross it
If
out.
this happened, I'm out of here.
Wait till the
Formal
end,
Zoom calls.
Jamie. Wait till the end. So then what happened was, then I even said to Kashmeer, they're going to say, you two come over here. So we come over and they have our ticket and they say, cross it out with a red pen, right? I was very specific. Red pen, and they're going to say, you've just been bumped up to first class, right? And that was the whole story. And we were having fun.
No, let's say that we were actually on our way to India at the time. This was in 2014 October. We can't make this shit up, okay? I got the dates and everything.
Armand, díselo. Díselo.
So we were on our way to India. Yeah, we didn't go on first class on the way to India. By the way, we were in economy.
Okay, but the whole point of this is that when we did this, it was very powerful, but we didn't do what Katie said. The second thing is, how often do you do it? Almost constantly. We weren't doing it constantly because after that point, we just forgot about it.
Totally
right?
forgot about it.
We weren't transmitting it. We just forgot about it.
You did do it
Like
though.
10
You did
days.
do it.
We did do it. But then
did it
after
once.
we just did it once,
We transmit
and
the
then-
frequency.
Kashmeer, and then after in the 10 days, we were just on holiday, just enjoying the holiday. On the way back, what we shared, that story, exactly that happened.
No.
Computer glitch, they gave us duplicate tickets. Then we were waiting in the queue. Now, I don't know how these women knew we
Our
had the
names,
duplicate tickets,
because we're in
but
the
they
queue.
said, you two come over here. We're in
No
the queue.
way.
So how did they know it was us two in a crowd of people? You two come over here. So we were like, oh, are we in trouble? We still didn't clock on that this is happening. Are we in trouble? Like, what have we done? You know. So we went up to them.
And
the red
the
pen.
people who asked you to come were a man or a woman?
Women,
A woman. Okay.
two women. And they were
Men,
watching on the
you two
airline.
come here.
Yeah. Because Oscar was saying it's
We're
because of
dreaming
your
around a
smile.
plane.
You said,
Yeah.
hey, come, you two come here.
Dude, come into my room.
And then with a red pen, it wasn't a blue pen, it was a red pen. They crossed out our ticket and said, you've been bumped up to first class.
Really?
And we got,
Awesome.
and it still
hadn't
didn't sink in until I got into first class,
Sat
sat down, and then I looked at Kashmeer and I was like, oh my God, what just happened here? You know? So this is the interesting thing. What I don't understand is, okay, we did a powerful transmission, but we didn't do it constantly. We
But
actually
you
didn't
had
think about
admitted a vibration.
Yeah, but then we didn't do it for the 10 days. We just did it once. That was
Yeah.
it. We forgot about it.
And what was the time frame since you transmit that until that happened?
10 days, because our trip was
10
10 days, so it was on the way back that we
I went to, I'll share a story. I went to China once for a snooker tournament, and I went to book the tickets, and I wanted a direct flight. And I booked premium economy because I had loads of air miles. So I booked, it was an extra £200. I told everyone, I'm going business class. I wasn't implying the formula. It's just one of those things that's happened. I said, I can't wait. I'm going business class. So I paid the extra 12. I was lying to people. They're saying I'm going to pay the extra £1,500. I've done this. I'm going to China and this and that. And I thought I actually believed I was going business class in the end. But the night before, I was sleeping here actually, and I booked the. It's not a great story. I booked the lounge. You can have free food and free beer. You can relax. You can go on your laptop. You can have 3 hours. And I ended up having 8 bottles of beer. Okay, this is genuinely. Got on the plane. This isn't a good story, just to let everyone know, right? But you will laugh. I got on the plane and gone, I'll have a few more beers. I thought I got 3 or 4 days in my tournament. I got drunk on the plane, right?
Oh my God.
Before a tournament, and I had gins and everything. I fell asleep in the toilet. Right? No, great. I'm saying. I fell asleep in the toilet. And I turned to the lady who had to undo the door 1 hour into the flight. It was a 13-hour flight. I said, "You okay, sir?" I said, I really don't like flying. I really don't like flying. Give me one moment. So she went to the front of the plane. She came back. She said, "You really need to lie down." I said, "I really need to lie down." And they put me in a business class in the front row.
Oh my God.
And I woke up. I've got the pictures to this day. And I was just sat there. I was like, because they had Wi-Fi. And I FaceTimed my fiance, and she was just laughing and laughing. It's not a great story, but I did it. Maybe like, because it came to my head, I thought, why don't I book the lounge? And I booked the lounge. I thought, this is free. This is nice. This is nice. This is nice. I thought, I haven't had a drink all week. And I thought, I'll have a drink now. And then I got on the plane, I thought I'll have a few more. And then I thought, I supposed to be a gin and tonic. I thought I'll have a gin. Not good things, but that was I didn't know the route.
You got to, that was the route to get you to business class.
That's crazy, isn't it? I guess you don't need
But
to.
a good route. Just it was a story. Yeah.
I love
Amazing.
that.
I love the stories that, like, Ashley says that when he talks to the elite, they're the stories and examples of what happened, and your belief just goes through the roof.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. Like, even if you're not doing that transmission frequently, constantly, if you really believed it and it was a powerful transmission,
That's enough.
and then there's no resistance after that, absolutely none. And like Mario said, you're not attached to the outcome. I think you can also manifest that way as well, because that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's
No
what-
resistance on the line, as he says. No resistance on the line.
Yeah,
Absolutely believed it.
yeah, absolutely believe it. You know. So go on. I think the end bit really is
now. CD, you can either So you can either beg or command it forth. Big difference. To remember. So he's saying, you become what you think about most of the time, but we just discussed that's not always the case. Depends on your intensity.
Yeah, not always the case. It's just something to like think about, you know.
It was the Earl Nightingale, a little known. That's what he says, and it was a little known fact is that you become what you think most of the time. But it wasn't that wasn't the formula.
Yes, yeah. And I think also if you think about something constantly, sometimes doubt can creep in between.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've all experienced a little.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you don't want to really think about it, because the thinking about it might actually create
doubt. Creeps in.
Doubt might creep in.
Which then makes you not transmit powerfully and not for a generation.
Then the universe gets confused. You want it, you want, yeah. So it's really like there's so many nuances around this about law of attraction and transmitting a frequency, and you can't always take everything literally black and white, because actually it's from your own experience and how you're experiencing this as well. Don't you feel?
That's right.
Yeah. And we just wanted to say one more thing before we wrap this up. About the 92nd degree.
Oh, yes, guys. Okay, so obviously, in terms of secret societies, you got the Freemasons. We thought that the highest level was a 33 degree. Well, we've actually come across a 92nd degree Freemason member. I think I shared it in the WhatsApp group.
Wow.
David Wynn Miller, and he teaches quantum grammar and syntax. And basically, his secrets are so deep and profound that it disqualified planet Earth as we know it. It's mind-boggling stuff. I'm pretty sure that he knows Kevin Trudeau, and I'm sure Kevin Trudeau is friends with this guy. Or he actually passed away, but he must have passed away in his sleep, because this guy was superhuman. And I think he's probably went to a gin event. I'm not sure, but this guy.
So he said 92nd degree. So we were a little bit blown over, but because the stuff he's saying is so deep.
Or maybe go over there. Maybe go over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's
I'm not ready for it.
difficult. Yeah, very, very difficult to grasp and understand everything. But there's bits of it that we understood, but very, it's very difficult.
You need to pause the video, write notes, look up words in the dictionary, play it again, pause the video, and so forth, to really study it and grasp what he's saying, because he's speaking outside of the matrix, guys. He's speaking in terms of the quantum law of everything, and so not the laws and rules by the congressmen and the senators and the rulers of the country and the government. He's actually
what's his name? David what? David what?
David Wynn Miller.
Yeah.
So
I've heard that name.
So I shared the video in the WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's it.
Lectures. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of them is 9 hours long.
One of them was 9 hours long, and then my brother-in-law sent me the second one, which is 6 hours long, more HD, a bit more clear and concise. But both of those lectures, you know, he's probably covering a lot.
92nd degree. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Friend of Kevin.
So we don't know.
I think I did ask in the I shared it all over Facebook and in the nuggets.
You know, we should ask Kevin.
Yeah, you should ask him. Yeah. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's my brother. It's probably his brother.
I am shares in Spanish of David Miller and nothing. In Spanish, nothing.
Nothing in Spanish. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah.
Yeah. He's totally desconocido.
Yeah, unknown in Spanish.
Pero parece increíble. Que parece increíble, vamos.
Sí, it seems amazing.
Yeah, no, it is, but it's just very, very difficult. It's like, it's very
there's loads of mind-blowing stuff. So, you know, when you do grasp bits of it, you'll be like, what? Like, wow, I didn't know that. Like, you know,
it's like really, shakes up your world.
It shakes up your world. You'll never see the world the same way again. Like,
it'll up your belief level, though, for such as a car, a house, money.
Yeah.
Husband, whatever.
Armand.
Sorry.
¿Puedes preguntar que si es verdad que el compañero David Miller es el que porta la bandera de Estados Unidos?
¿Cómo puedes repetir? ¿El amigo de
David Miller, el que porta la bandera de Estados Unidos?
Oscar is like asking if you know if the friend of David Miller is the guy who's holding the flag of the US. ¿Quiere decir eso, no? De si porta la bandera de Estados Unidos.
Sí.
Oh, you mean in the thumbnail image of the YouTube video?
Dices en la imagen de YouTube.
No, un compañero suyo que junto con él desveló todo esto del lenguaje y por lo visto descifró, vamos, y liberó a Estados Unidos de la atadura. Pero vamos, que no es importante ahora.
Okay. He's saying Oscar is saying that one of his friends also like I don't know how to say, like free the US from something, but it's not important now.
Oh, okay. If he's linked with someone that's higher.
I mean, he did say he owned the patent of the US flag or something like that. Or something.
Yeah, he does make a lot of references to the US flag and explains it very well. So I'm sure he is linked to this guy that you speak of in some way. But yeah, there's just
it's very, very complex. So
very complex.
So we just thought we'd mention that before we end the session. So CD6, what we're going to discuss next time, is more about the law of attraction, how to transmit a frequency to get what you want. And my best bit is going to be about the importance of feeling good now. I love that bit. So I think that's a common theme throughout, you know, feeling good now.
All about a challenge, isn't it? It's a skill, definitely a skill.
Yeah, definitely. And I also want to say that actually, you know, having this group can actually help to raise your vibration. So if you are having a bit of an off day or like an off week, you know, when we get together in a group like this, it does make you feel, you know, it does raise your vibe.
That's exactly what happened to me today.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
very good.
I'm definitely.
No barbecue, so you use the Mastermind to raise it.
Yeah. So thank you all for attending today. It was a really good session, and I'm looking forward to CD6.
Yeah, so stay tuned for the next session, and may you never be the same again.
All right.